Take it away.
Okay. Good Monday morning, everyone. I'm in the corner. Anyways, you guys know me, Amy, here with Sandy and Russell for Author Talk, and our guest today is Alan Steelman. So everyone say hi.
Woohoo!
Good morning.
Do you know, is this becoming your favorite time of the week? Because it is for me. I look forward to this. We get to talk to each other, which we don't get to do that a lot during the week. And then we get to talk to our guests, and we get to talk to all the people out there in Facebook world. Isn't that a fun way to start the week?
It's awesome.
I'm just glad Amy's awake these days.
I know. Telling you, this extra hour is doing wonders for me.
She's actually more awake than you are this morning, Russell. So
am I not awake?
Well, no, not you're not.
I just have intense yoga questions to ask Alan.
Well, hold on.
You know, I'm like anti-yogism. Alan, I'm leaving for India. I've spent a year deep in Indian culture and religion, and it's funny that now is the time that we have you on the air.
Isn't that a coincidence?
Hello.
So we have Alan Steelman with us, and Alan is the author of Yoga on the Yellow Brick Road. Wow. Ooh. It sounds like a combination of yoga, The Wizard of Oz, and whatever else. And so Alan, he's right. I can't wait to talk to you about it. And I have talked to you before.
Yes.
Alan and I first met at the author marketing event in Dallas, which is our friend Alan Bourgeois, and which we need to have him on author.
Hello, Alan.
Hi, Alan.
And we need Alan on every quarter because he's so busy.
Well, besides, he just opened this great new opportunity for authors, which is an online bookstore, Indie Lector. So yes. I love all this Indie Beacon, Indie Lector, Indie everything. So
Alan, are you on that?
I am. Yes, I am indeed.
Oh, I thought, the way you reacted, I thought you were.
Right, yes. So I signed up. So Sandy and I met, as she said, at the event. I believe it was in July here in Dallas.
It was hard to believe it's been since July, but yes, it was.
Alan Bourgeois of Texas Authors, and he announced this spinoff, if you will, at that time. So I joined, and so we're rocking and rolling.
And then we saw each other again in Breckenridge.
Yes.
When we went to Judith Brow's Author U Extravaganza, which was a 3-day boot camp of intense learning.
Both dealing with a rarefied air at 10,000 feet.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I think Sandy spent most of the time sick.
I know. I mean, I didn't stay in my room at all. I mean, I just feel like 100% my best the whole time. But I was good, and I would love to go back sometime because I'll be prepared for it next time. I was so totally unprepared for it to be different than Denver because I've been to Denver plenty of times. So anyway, but it was a great training, and I got a lot out of it, and been working with Judith ever since. And she has sent so many people to me, and I love it, love it, love it, Judith. So actually, Judith will be our special guest tonight as we wind down the final week of our Speak to Sell More books. We've been in a 4-week course. We've had the courses over. Tonight is like the bonus week of talking, getting to know each other, talking about the topic, which is speaking to sell books. And I know, Alan, that topic is of particular interest to you. So I'm going to be sending out an email to my entire list in a few minutes, letting them know first that Judith will be on. And Judith has a book called How to Create a $1 Million Speech. And we will be doing her book launch on Cyber Monday. So we got lots of book launches coming up for that weekend. Today,
you're in the middle of one.
I am in the middle of one right now with Dave, and Dave just sent me an email. And so, Dave, I'm sorry, I can't respond right this minute, but I will in a few minutes. So, big weddings suck. Dave Westfall, did you meet him while we were there, Alan, in Breckenridge?
I'm not sure whether I did or not. I do recognize his name, but I'm not sure.
And he came over, we sat down and had a conversation about his book, and he hired me. So We've been working all month on preparing for this. And I tell you, Dave Westfall is the ultimate scheduler, other than our friend Mano that we haven't seen for a while. But I would put him right with, he schedules out everything. And he's working with other people. So working with Judith, working with Derek.
He's got a huge publishing team.
He does. He does. So he has been like ultra successful all weekend. We started with the book. The book was published on Friday, the 1st. We started the book launch activities on the 2nd, had a Facebook launch party. And he started out at number 1. I mean, he was actually number 1 from pre-orders before we ever had the book available as a download. So now he's been in number 1 in 2 categories and number 2 in the 3rd one for 4 days. This is a day 4. So, and he got up to number 123, I believe, in overall Kindle store, which is, you know, that's,
it's incredible.
It is. It's like over 4 million books, and you're at number 123. I don't even know what percentage that is.
Right.
But anyway, way up there. So today's the last day. You can still get the free download. Amy, would you post the link in the comments? You can still get the book free today. You can still do a review. We have all kind of stuff coming in. And then immediately he's going into his Amazon marketing services with Derek. And so that starts like in 2 days, I believe. And he's going to do that through his book launch actual party, which will be at the place where he lives on November 16th. So big plans, but this week has been fun all weekend. So that's what I did. That's my report for the weekend.
The good thing that should boost his sales, there are so many 2nd and 3rd marriages. You've heard the old adage, love is a fever cured quickly by marriage.
I have not heard that.
Boy, I believe it.
So
Russell,
you may sell 2 or 3 to the same customer.
Well,
I'm a divorce attorney. I do that.
So one of the things when I was sending out his press release, I know his target market, he has identified his target market is millennials, 18 to 44, something like that, more than millennials, but a younger group. And yet when I was sending out the press release, I found all these senior places around Denver and senior publications. And I'm like, Amy and I spoke at an author event last week, and we met a couple that has been married 3 weeks, and they're not young. So, I'm like, these people need to know about how to have a cheaper wedding as well. So anyway, I've been sending out the press release to all of them. So it's all been good. It's been fun. Judith has been in there participating the entire time. So great fun. So tonight, when I send that email, I'm going to invite anyone and everyone to be part of the event tonight, the online event, and get to hear Judith and ask her questions. So thank you for letting me tell about that, Russell.
You're welcome.
It's been great. It's been, I was on vacation last week, so this has been like huge time in my life.
Amy, she has a lot to say today, doesn't she?
Dear God.
Check out Sandy's outline.
Well, nobody else will talk. So
well, you can tell she's been in South Carolina for a week. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Sandy, show everyone your birthday gift.
My birthday gift from my kids. I love it. Oh my gosh, it's so nice that when I get one of my many notifications, I don't have to find my phone. When I get a phone call, I can look and see who's calling or answer it even. So
that's fantastic. Okay.
Isn't that good? So efficient. I love efficiency.
Awesome. I love it.
So Amy, bring us to the next subject.
NaNoWriMo is what I call it. I'm pretty sure
that's what it is, actually.
Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. So
thank you, Valerie.
Yes, thank you, Valerie.
In 2 ways. One is some people can write their entire book in the month of November, or they write 50,000 words. So just like a competition, but you're only competing with yourself to finish it.
So that you can sign up for it. You can if you go to Google and search for NaNo, N-A-N-O, WRIMO, W-R-I-M-O, which stands for National Novel Writing Month, you can find all the information you want.
Well, you can find it also. I know Fern Brady is doing for the Houston Writers Guild. I think she's in charge of it. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Of all the nano groups that are writing every day. They kept popping up while I was trying to watch football yesterday.
And you know what?
Thank you for laughing about that, Alan. Turn it off.
So these groups get together and write together. So
I don't know how people do that.
The whole time in your room at home, attic, writing. Then go join somebody.
Alan, where did you write this book?
I wrote every word of it at the Starbucks store in Highland Park Village in Dallas.
Wow.
And they never charged me rent.
Nice.
In fact, in the acknowledgement section, I give credit to Jan Weiser, who's the manager of that store, for having accommodated me all that time. But you know, the point you just made about writing a book in 30 days. So I had such a passion for my topic. I knocked the full first manuscript out in 35 days.
Oh my gosh.
But there's a but here. Sent it to the publisher. He calls me and says, you write like you spent your whole life in politics and business. And I said, well, I have to plead guilty to that. What do you mean? He said, you got to remember one important thing about writing. Facts tell, stories sell.
Mm-hmm.
So
love that.
So as we get into the topic of my book, I'll tell you how the Wizard of Oz story ties into this.
Well, I'm dying to know. That's the first question, right?
Right.
Yes.
So should I address that now, or do you want
go right ahead, Alan?
It's organically, you should. Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, we all thought when we first saw The Wizard of Oz or read the book, probably as children, that we were watching a children's fantasy tale, and it turns out it's really the story of all of our lives. When you think about, so Dorothy and Toto suffer this traumatic event, picked up by the tornado in Kansas, dropped into this wonderful land of Oz, and the good witch Glinda says, Dorothy, this is a land of great beauty. It can also be dark and terrible, just like life can be, right? But if you will stay on this yellow brick road over the rainbow there's a wizard, and he'll get you and Toto back to Kansas. So they strike out on the yellow brick road, and the good witch Glinda said, don't dare venture off the road, though. So as you remember, they encounter the scarecrow who needs a brain with which to make wise choices about his life. The Tin Man who said, the tinsmith who made me cut my heart out, and I want to be in love again, and I need a new heart. And of course, the cowardly lion, the king of the jungle, and they all start to run when they see him. He said, no, don't run. I'm embarrassed. I'm a coward. I need courage. Well, come join us. We're off to see the wizard. And of course, they all get there, and the wizard is a wrinkled up little old man who can't do anything for them, a false wizard. Just like pills and alcohol and binge eating are in this ASAP lane, to segue to the subtitle of the book, how to exit life in the anxious, stressed, addicted, and pressured lane, which is what the book is really about. So the Wizard of Oz story, you know, in my own case, I've been blessed in many, many ways and have had a good life overall. That my brother was bipolar, committed suicide, and I've had a few other tragedies, and as we all have had in our lives. So life can be dark and terrible. We all have to deal with brain fog. We all have to deal with, like the scarecrow, heartbreak, whether it's relationships or whether it's the death of a loved one. And of course, the lack of courage at critical times in our life. And the temptation to find something outside ourselves, a wizard, to fix this. And too many are turning to false wizards, pills and alcohol and binge eating and digital.
I wish you'd quit mentioning binge eating.
So really the book, it's not a how to do yoga book, although I do have a chapter in there on that, and also a chapter on meditation. It's more about the subtitle, which is exiting the ASAP lane. So it's
explain what the ASAP lane is.
So that is anxious, stressed, addicted, and pressured. So this is life in the digital age. The pace of life has become too much for many to cope with without the false wizards of pills and alcohol and emotional eating and their all of our digital devices, which I'm guilty of, by the way. So it's how to take your own yellow brick road, your God-given breath, through a practice of yoga and meditation to your very own Emerald City, a calm mind. So that's what it's about.
Wow.
And when did you wrote? When was the book published? This past year?
This year. It's been out about 6 weeks, and it made.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. I thought it was already out in July, so it was just getting ready to come out. Okay.
It did make Amazon bestseller #1 in 2 categories. Although, as I told you when we first met, Sandy, I didn't write a book as a vanity project, which I think so many people do just to say I've written a book. It's really more about selling a message than it is selling books. And Russell, I'm glad to have you on because, as you know, men, so Yoga Journal, which is the best source of data on this topic, says there are approximately 40 million practitioners of yoga in America, in a country of 320 million. In the midst of this epidemic of stress and anxiety, we lost more to opioids last year alone than the combined wars of Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq. We're second only to Mexico now, America is, in obesity due to emotional eating. Teen suicide rates are soaring. So the point being, we're in the midst of this epidemic of stress, and these 40 million practitioners of yoga are primarily white females who can afford to pay for yoga lessons. So the book is focused on the other 88% men, Russell, whom I usually think it's not macho enough, or I've seen these pictures of these women that can put their legs up behind their head, and I can't do those things.
Well, I got to tell you, when I go to yoga, I'm usually the weakest one there. It's hard, but my ego's not bothered by it.
Exactly. You've discovered if you can breathe, you can do this.
Right.
It's not about doing the poses. It's about breathing your way to a calm mind.
Right.
Patanjali, who was the first one to write about this 2,500 years ago, said, the purpose of yoga is to calm the agitations of the mind. Now, in the West, because of these stereotypes that we've seen in pictures, most people get, oh my God, nobody like me does this. It's all these 35-year-old hyper fit young females that can do these pretzel type contortions that I can't do. So anyway, the focus of the book is on men, seniors who think they're too old, teens and kids and college students who are too busy with both thumbs on their digital devices and who are stressed out to the max, African Americans and Latinos. So it's a message book more than a book written to sell books, although I was very happy to make the Amazon bestseller list, needless to say. But
absolutely,
it's really, I wrote this to become a yoga evangelist, if you will, trying to get this message out to this other 88% in this global epidemic of stress and anxiety we find ourselves in.
Now, Alan, the question I want to ask you is, one of the yogis that I listened to maybe 6 weeks ago said that meditation was how should I say this? It's a process, not an act. You can't go to one yoga class and expect it to help you start having peace.
Yeah.
What's your response to that?
Well, it is. It's like anything else. It needs to become a part of your life. For example, I've been doing this 7 years now. So I do yoga 3 times a week, and I meditate in the morning and before I go to sleep at night. And again, the purpose being to calm the agitations of the mind. And you know, we're all born with this monkey brain. This constant ruminations about mistakes from the past and worries about tomorrow. And the whole purpose is just to try to calm the mind and be here now. So it does need to become a part of your everyday life if you do want to calm your mind and try to deal with stress and anxiety without having to rely on some of the false wizards.
So
what's the first step?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I'm sorry, Russell?
What's the first step?
Well, there's a technique I use in my book called the RPM method: rise, pee, and meditate.
Say that again. Say that again.
It's the RPM method: rise, pee, and meditate.
Oh.
Get up in the morning and make that the first thing you do.
That's why I didn't get it the first time. I was totally not expecting that to be. That is the morning ritual.
Right. Most of us do wake up with brain fog, just like the scarecrow. And I wake up because of a lot of things that happened when I was young with anxiety every morning. So, the first thing to do is to clear that brain fog out and to try to calm the mind from the anxiety I've awakened with. And it actually, it does work.
And I'm looking inside your book, and I love that your statement by the Dalai Lama at the very, very, very beginning.
Yes.
When he said, if everyone learned to meditate at 8 years old, then we would live in a different world. I'm not at that page anymore. I don't remember the exact quote, but I love that.
If we could teach every 8-year-old to meditate, we could cure the planet of violence in one generation.
Oh my gosh!
And when you think about acts of violence, whether they're sexual assaults, rapes, murders, robberies, verbal abuse, various forms of physical abuse, they all arise from an agitated mind. Somebody's angry, somebody's jealous, and it's something that we're all subject to. And being able to calm that mind, which is what the Dalai Lama is talking about, allows our better qualities. We're born body, mind, and spirit, right? We have a physical body. We have our brain, where the mind and the brain and mind are two different things, by the way, but the mind comes out of the functioning of the brain, and then the spirit.
That is so yogi thinking right there that I ran across. The thought of the brain and the mind, it's so differentiated within what the subject is you're talking about.
Well, it really is. And if you think about it, all of our good qualities, generosity, gratitude, compassion, empathy, kindness dwell in the spirit. And so in order for our higher self, you remember Abraham Lincoln in his first inaugural address, just as the Civil War was beginning, called on the higher angels of our nature. And it said, to heal a divided nation, we need to call on the higher angels of our nature. And the higher angels of our nature dwell in the spirit. And when you've got an agitated mind, where you're angry, you're jealous, and all the other things that we're all subject to, the higher angels of our nature really can't govern our lives. So that's what the Dalai Lama was talking about.
I love that. So, I love a cause. Okay. So, and I'm always up for one. And honestly, I would get on anybody's bandwagon that wanted to promote this. If meditation was taught to every 8-year-old, we could eliminate all violence from the world in one generation.
Yes.
Oh my God, what an opportunity. And you were talking about Linda the Good Witch earlier and I love that you've done like a comparison to the Wizard of Oz and the 3 characters there. And one of our other clients, Marianne Fairmouth, who has a book called Revolutionary Recruiting, she spoke it recently at our Indie Palooza, and she said that she was talking about the Good Witch. She also mentioned it. She's got a quote hanging in her office that is a quote from the Wizard of Oz, but the statement, it was that the Good Witch told her, you had this in you all along.
You have within you
always had the capability, the ability to do what you're doing now. Exactly. And I love that. It's like, whatever you believe about your higher self, we've been given what we need to be what we can be in this world. And I love your aspect of using yoga and meditation to demonstrate that.
Well, there's actually, I know some people, all of us on this call, except Amy, are old enough to remember the Hare Krishnas from the 60s. So there's still lots of stereotypes in people's heads. Oh, this is weird. This is woo stuff. I'm not giving you.
I've heard the woo 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 in the last 4 weeks myself.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
There's significant science behind this now, which I'm going to elaborate on. The Brain Performance Institute at the University of Texas at Dallas is a partner of mine. And so we're all born with what in the book I call it being given a CVS or a Walgreens in our brain. We're given 4 feel good chemicals: oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. We're also given cortisol. So cortisol is a good one when you're walking through a parking lot at night and you see somebody who may want to grab your purse. That's your fight or flight response saying, I better get in my car quick. However, when you are chronically or acutely stressed, again, life in the ASAP lane that we're all living our lives in these days, your body is getting carpet bombed with cortisol all the way from head to toe, causing cancers, premature aging, and so forth. So we're all born with this vagus nerve, spelled VAGUS, pronounced like Las Vegas, but spelled VAGUS. And it attaches to the 10th cranial nerve to our brains, goes down both sides of our body, all the way to our toes. Yoga and here's the magic behind yoga. And
that was the first part of our brain that developed.
Exactly. Here's the magic behind yoga and meditation. It is not woo-woo voodoo. It is yoga and meditation stimulate the vagus nerve and distribute those 4 feel-good chemicals, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, from head to toe. And Russell, that's why you feel so calm, right? Afterward, you just said, my goodness, man, I just feel so different from this. It's not voodoo. It is the God-given chemicals that we're given by God at birth. And in the book, I say, you've been right all along. Your happiness does depend on drugs, not the ones you're using, the ones God gave you at birth. Use them.
Isn't that incredible?
That's a nice little story. I like
it. It is. And it's like the more we learn, the more we realize how this whole complex body works. And it was created like that from the beginning. So I love that. Russell, I know you've really we're looking forward to this interview with Alan. So any other questions you want to ask him about the book?
No, we don't have time, but I do want to ask this before we leave. Alan, what's in your plan? You've now published the book. It's been 6 weeks. You told us what you want to do. What's your next step in your plan?
Okay, so I'm forming a 501c3 not-for-profit called the Yellow Brick Foundation. And so I'm moving now into what I call the activism stage or the evangelism stage. So now I'm making speeches. And as I said, I'm partnered with the Brain Performance Institute at UTD with the Warrior Spirit Project, which is providing help for PTSD survivors from the wars who are coming back. Yoga in the Hood, which is an African-American organization here in Dallas. The Salvation Army, which is giving free yoga to the homeless people. So I've got quite a good group of allies and partners in this. And so we're starting to move out into making speeches and trying to spread the word.
Okay, then here's the other end of that question, Alan. What set you down this path? Where was this? Because the Alan that I met back in the 70s wasn't on this path. What set you on this path?
Being on that path then, I guess. I went through, 2 high-stress careers, politics and business. Politics being a blood sport, as we're all able to observe today. And flying around the world, I had a global job with a management consulting firm and trying to deal with jet lag and stress and all the things. And so, I went to college on an athletic scholarship, so I've always been physically fit. But I didn't appreciate that to be truly fit, you've got to be fit of both mind and body. And so, throughout these 2 high stress careers, even though I was physically fit, I still had this monkey brain that, where you're always thinking, oh my God, here's my to-do list today. And I made a mistake yesterday, and how am I going to correct that? And all the things we all go through. So anyway, 7 years ago, my youngest son started telling me about how different his brain and mind felt doing yoga. And so I started doing it. And so that's what got me started on it.
And that was just 7 years ago?
Right.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome. And now you've got a book and you got this plan. Say one more time, a little slower. What is the ASAP lane? What is that acronym?
So that is the anxious, stressed, addicted, and pressured lane, ASAP lane.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So the book is all about how to exit the ASAP lane via the yellow brick road, your own God-given breath.
Very good, because I looked and I didn't see that explained on your cover.
It's on that sheet.
Okay.
I'll put it back out.
Yeah, show that sheet again, because one of the things that Alan's goal is to deliver this message through speaking, and and he has a cause. Why are adult and teen suicide rates, opioid deaths, and obesity rates soaring? So there's his message. That is his speaker sheet.
How does someone get a hold of Alan if they want to have him come speak?
Alan?
Okay, so my website is alansteelman.net. So that's ALANSTEELMAN.net. My phone number is 214-402-3351. 214-402-3351.
And it's on that page.
It's all on that speaker sheet. So if you have an organization, if you have a group, if anything want Alan to come speak, then send him an email. What's your email address, Alan?
So it's Alan Steelman. Again, that's ALANSTEELMAN at tx.rr.com.
So TexasRoadrunner.com. So just shorten it to txrr.com. Is
Right.
it tx.rr.com?
Yes, it is.
Okay, got it. So, well, I'll make sure everybody has it. If you don't, believe me, if you miss that little dot between TX and RR, you're not going to reach it.
Right.
It's on the sheet. They can go back. They can back the video up.
Okay.
It's at the bottom.
I put his website in the comments.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't back up the video to see what he's saying. Okay, so thank you, Amy. And so thank you, Alan, for being here. So what are your next plans? What's coming up next for you? Like, do you have a big push coming up for Cyber Monday or any of that? Or what are you doing to promote the book for the rest of this year?
Okay, well, again, I'm more about promoting the message than the book.
Right.
I'm always happy to sell a book. And in fact, I will send anyone who wants one a free downloadable copy if they will text me or at that cell number I gave you or email me.
That's awesome. We've never had an author offer that before, Sandy. Thank you, Alan.
That is very
That's
nice.
awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
wait. Alan, would you repeat that again? Where they would text?
I will. So for anyone, the book is available. If you want a signed, inscribed copy, go to my website and I will send you one. It's $14.95. The Kindle version on Amazon is $7.95. But if you say, well, I'm not buying into the yoga stuff yet, but I'm curious enough to want to read about it, I will send you a free downloadable copy in full blazing color, just like it looks just like the one you would get from Amazon. If you will either text me at 214-402-3351, 214-402-3351.
Amy, will you put that in the comments, the phone number, please?
Right.
Yeah.
Or email me at alansteelman.txr.net.
Thank you, Alan.
That is very, very, very generous. And one of the things that if you get a copy of it and like it, you can always go to Amazon and post a review because
please post reviews.
However, if you review from a free copy sent to you the way Alan is sending it, remember there is a comment that you have to put so that Amazon knows what's going on, and that is just put, I was given this book as a free email, in exchange for a fair and honest review, something like that, if you do a review. So you can see from others, if you go to Dave Westfall's, you'll see where he has asked everyone to put that in his reviews, because Amazon will take away the reviews that are not legit. So
Yes.
we learn a lot. Also, I just found out, Judith just sent me something this morning about, what did I do with it? She sent me an email that Amazon is giving free, so check it out and I'll find out exactly what it is.
Free what?
Free shipping. Free shipping on orders from now to Christmas. I was getting there. Amazon is giving... Amazon, okay, so anyway, I need to go look it up and see exactly what she told me. I don't remember. But,
Amy, who's watching?
We actually had a lot of comments. So Shauna commented and said that this was a great discussion this morning. Caroline commented. Nicole Carter commented. Red was on. My mom was on. A bunch of people. We have 8 people watching.
Very good.
And if you're watching this on YouTube later, I ask you, give us a thumbs up and subscribe.
Yeah.
Where's Sue? Is Sue not on?
No, I didn't see a comment from
Sue. We missed you. Sue's coming up to be our guest co-host while Russell is traveling to India. And he's going to be leaving pretty soon, right? I mean, it's right after Thanksgiving.
That's right. And I will probably appear if I have good Wi-Fi in India.
Yay.
Alan, I'm actually one morning going to be going to in Naravasi on the Ganges. We're doing yoga as the sun comes up. So
Well,
I bet I'm not very good compared to the others there either.
In India, I bet.
But that's okay, right?
That is okay.
It's all inner.
And I love that about you, Russell, that you get up, you started running after you were 50 because you wanted to, be healthy and have a fit body and all of that. And so now Russell is right now training for the marathon in January. So yay, Russell. And he gets up early every Saturday and does all his 20-mile bike rides. And then he does yoga. And I love that. And I think, Russell, you are like a testament to, you don't have to be Amy's age to be involved in all of these. But as a matter of fact, he's going hiking, and he and his wife, Melinda, hi, Melinda, are camping in all of the national state, is it national parks that you're camping?
We are, except India got in the way.
But you'll continue it later.
Right.
Yeah. So and for that, Russell learned how to build a fire from
right. I'm a
nothing.
Non-camper guy.
Oh.
It's the joke is I can't put a tent together. My wife has to. I'm not a camping guy.
Yeah.
And when you're out there, like when you went to Big Bend and all that, and you're hiking up to the very tip top of that,
climbing.
How many other people your age did you see up there?
Nobody.
I didn't think so.
Well, as I mentioned, seniors are one of the target demographics in my book.
Right.
And I've got a chapter entitled "Go Not Gently Into That Good." And
that's right. Dylan Thomas rocks.
That's exactly right. And Dylan Thomas wrote that actually to his own father.
Yes.
Just kind of giving up on life. And it's the whole thing about age is that by our self-talk, we invite the old man or the old woman just to move in and set up shop. We talk about being old. I can remember when I was 30 years old, people say, "Oh my God, I'm 30 years old now. I'm getting old." And then 40 comes. "Oh my God, the high school reunion's coming up. What are they going to think about what's happened to me?" And then, "Oh, my hair is turning gray. I can't do the things I used to do." So you talk yourself into becoming old by the way you speak.
Yes, you do. And I refuse that kind of talk. I love my age, and I love everything that I do at this age. So
I've lived my whole life by that point. By
Yeah.
Dylan Thomas.
Me too. So
Squeeze every bit of juice out of every moment.
that's right. So hats off to Russell for all you're doing there.
yay. And Amy shows us how easy it is when you're her age.
I know what she was going to say.
because she and her husband also go hiking and have all these pictures. Sometimes I see Amy post this video of Josh and her, and they're on this little ledge that's not wide enough for two people to be on, and they're doing a video, and I'm like, no.
Alan, the joke about that is Amy is not happy to be there. He drags her out
I'm
there.
not happy at all.
She is the opposite of wanting to be there.
I go though. I do my duties and go.
Right.
So it works.
So great week. What a great way to start the week. Thank you, Alan, for being here. I had totally forgotten how all that I learned from you and the book when we were having our conversations. I remember the name of it, but I didn't remember all that it was about. And that's absolutely wonderful. I love that philosophy. And I am going to remember forever this statement by the Dalai Lama. If meditation were taught to every 8-year-old, we could eliminate violence in 1 generation.
Yes.
Love that. Love that. So let's get on the bandwagon and help kids be healthy. Help kids do meditation and not consider that, for guys, now that's for the girls. So
exactly.
Great conversation. So any final word from you, Russell?
No.
Amy?
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. And
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. And I've never done meditation, but I looked up your book and I got your book because now it's just, I don't know, it's fascinating for me. So I'm excited to read your book.
And I love meditation. Love it.
So Amy, you remember, just rise, pee, and meditate. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That is awesome. I'm going to tell my husband that, and he's going to love it.
I'm not going to repeat that.
Yeah.
So the acronym is, just tell them it's the RPM method. That's the acronym.
I do love that. I love that idea.
All right, very good.
Thank you very much, and good luck and best wishes and all of that stuff for a future with your speaking and the book. And we'd love to have you back again.
Very good. Thanks for having me. Thanks.